Hi, I'm Shane. Welcome to the shop. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, thanks for checking it out. I hope you enjoy. If you've been around a while, welcome back. I also hope you enjoy. So today we're going to be making two aluminum pieces that have a 1/2 inch keyway. They're 3-inch OD, 2-inch ID. We're going to be turning, boring, and taking the Davis number 2 keyseater out for the first time. So that should be fun. Looking forward to that. I actually just got it wired up earlier today. Got the broach put in, ready to go. In addition to that, we'll be drilling and tapping for 7/16 set screws to hold this thing in place. So yeah, that should be fun. If that sounds any bit interesting to you, keep on watching, and we're gonna get her done. I did want to bring up, I do get nervous making these videos sometimes, and sometimes I miss things and I try and catch them in editing, but yeah, I probably 4 or 5 times in the last video used the word adjacent incorrectly. If you're measuring your gears, you're going to go across from, not adjacent to. So that was my bad. I hope I didn't confuse anybody. Just like I said, I get nervous, and sometimes I think I am thinking faster than I'm speaking, or vice versa. So yeah, enough of that. I'll get you over and we'll look at the pieces, what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. So hang tight, I'll bring you right back.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Alright guys, so here's what we got. We have a piece of 6061 aluminum. This is a 6-inch piece. Needs to be 2 roughly 3-inch pieces. So first thing we're going to do, or I guess first and foremost, we measure the shaft and we measured the bore. This is slightly out of round and it's 15th out undersized. Measured it with a Brown & Sharp Intramic. Yeah, these things are fantastic. If you can find them, get them. If you find them cheap, buy them up. Or leave them for me to buy up, because I only have 2. So yeah, the plan of attack here is to bore this out. This is, like I said, 15th thou undersized, 10 to 15th thou, depending on where you're measuring it, because it is out around. We're going to set this up, we're going to bore it, we're going to turn it. It just needs turn true. It's going to be a relatively tight fit in the piece. I don't have the other piece to measure, but I did test it out, and I think if I take, 5 or 10 thou off of this to true it up, it's going to slide in perfect. We will face the ends. I believe I'm going to turn a small fillet in where it's going to be welded. This is going to be welded to 2 outside plates and a drum to make a spool, really, which is going to be used in the front of a tractor trailer to pull heavy pallets to the front of the trailer. So after I do all that, I'll probably mark out and groove the middle. I'm try and groove it heavy so that it has kind of a built-in chamfer on it when I part it off. I don't know if it's going to work or not. Should be fine. After that, I'll slide this piece onto this piece of shafting with some die cam on it, and I'll scribe out around the key. I'll also measure it so I know how far I have to go. But like I said, first time using the Davis number 2, and I just kind of want it to be seamless. Like I said before, I like to measure a couple times, a couple different ways, because I don't want to have to scrap apart This is all the aluminum I have to do the job, so I got to do it right the first time. From there, we'll move over to the Acra and we'll drill and tap, you know, two 7/16 set screw holes right on the keyway, so that the keyway is driving in tight. We're not going up our shaft. So all that being said, I guess I'll get you on the lathe and we'll get her dialed in and start boring. All right, hang tight. All right, guys, we got you set up on the lathe here. You can kind of see it's a hair out. What we're going to do, we're going to loosen our lows. We're going to tighten our highs. We'll get them all relatively close quick. Loosen our low. Come over here, tighten our high. See about where we want it to fall. Right about there. She's definitely a hair out around. Good God. We're just going to give her a good 5 thou pass. Should be good to chamfer it. And I'll chamfer it and flip it, and I'll bring it back. Because I gotta set up a tool quick to chamfer it on the inside. So hang tight. Alright guys. So I kind of changed my mind here. As this piece, the whole 6-inch piece was in the lathe, and I made that mark to part it off. I ended up just parting it off and then switching over and blending the one side in this side. So we did a pretty good job. Next step, we're gonna have a pretty nice finish in there. I did slow my feeds down for my boring. I don't know if it said anything, but I believe it was here, let me double check so I'm not lying to you. Yeah, 65 10,000ths per rev. So a little on the slower side, but I'm pretty happy with it. Next step, put a little die cam on our face here. This is going to be the inboard side. Excuse me. This is going to be the inboard side. This is going to be the side that's showing. So I'm going to do all my die cam, and I'm going to broach from this side. Okay, but to get my mark, just to be super clear, I'm just going to slide him against. Take a small scribing tool, something like this one, and I'm just going to scribe where my keyway's center position and total depth is. I believe it should be 1/4 inch. It's 1/2 inch key. We'll leave a little bit of room for clearance, so we'll probably go a hair past that. And like I said, we'll set this up on the Davis now. See, now we have a pretty nice idea of exactly where we're going to be machining this to. There it is. So plan is, like I said, to cut from this side, and after it's cut, after the keyway's cut, I'm going to center up on it out here, drill and tap a hole for a 7/16 key, and that'll be the end of this job. Main thing I wanted to do with this video is I'm excited about running the Davis, and I thought I'd share that at that moment with you. Christening a new tool that's actually on the docket to be restored because it has some issues, but it's needed for this job, so we're gonna run it. It's up to running condition. It's ugly, and there's some pieces of casting that are broke on it I'd like to fix, but otherwise it's pretty well ready to go. All right, let me get you set up on the Davis, and I'll bring you right back. All right, guys. So one of the things that I'm unsure of about these keyseaters, if you move the table, you lose your perpendicularity with your broach. So what I went ahead and did, I set it for my 1/4 inch depth of cut. I think that is a derivative of the center line of the broach. Not sure. But I've set it up so that when this is all the way stroked out with our 1/4 inch depth of cut, that it remains perpendicular with the table. You know, right now it's clearly it's off. So that's the best I can figure with that. We're gonna try it and see what happens. I have centered the broach. Let's see that or not. Within our marks. The way you do that is with this bolt here, the one just north of it here that you can't really see, is the one that retains the the actual brooch. Sorry about that, that was very loud. So I guess we're gonna get it running. We have our clamp arm snugged in tight with the incorrect hold down, but it's tight and it's as parallel as possible so that we have as much contact patch on the top of what we're broaching. So I'm gonna set you guys up on the tripod here and we're gonna see what happens. We'll all be surprised at the outcome, so hang tight, let me get you set up. Alright guys, moment of truth here. Use a little bit of WD because it's aluminum and I'm out of tap magic. So that's what we're gonna do. She's noisy, she's gear driven, and there's a chain drive to the motor, so it's a little noisy, but everything's lubricated, everything seems reasonably tight. Alright guys, so she was moving around a little bit there. What I ended up doing was grinding this piece in eccentric so I can put it down on this ground part, and after this is snugged down, really tighten down on it. Yeah, this is kind of a let's try and get by quick, so you know, I just put a pipe wrench on it now, and I'm intend to make a good one of these, and I'm hoping that this takes care of our issue with that slight bit of movement. We are still lined up, and I did bring that in just a little bit tighter. I ran it back to the 0 point so that when I'm pushing on it I'm getting a little more tooth. It could be sharper. Clearly all the ones I don't need are fairly sharp. Well, let's give it a whirl. Let's see what happens. I just need to be very careful and make sure that this remains perpendicular. Alright guys, the last one was maybe a little bit of a learning curve, but I think we might have her sorted out now. Pretty much I have to stand over here. I think my cutter's just a hair on the dull side, but it's only aluminum and it seems to be doing the job, and the other one came out with a really nice finish. So basically the way I have this set up, I'm gonna run out as far as I can at the setting I'm at, and then I'm gonna have to move it to run the rest of the way home. And then when I'm done here, I'm gonna read any book I can find on the correct way to run this. I mean, I got it figured to the point where the hole is straight, parallel, perpendicular. It fits the keyway perfectly. But yeah, I think there's a couple too many steps here that I'm implementing to get this done. But yeah, I guess you know, it's not bad to learn new things. It's also not bad to get this job done. So I'm gonna get this thing done real quick. We'll see how she works out. Alright guys, so that got a little shaky. We got it done. See, we have a nice keyway. It's even on both sides. She's nicely bored, nicely turned, nicely faced, chamfered, cleaned up. We have a groove for our welding. Really nice fit. Make a liar out of me. Really nice fit. Okay. So next step, I have the other one set up in the mill already. Where this one's heading. I actually downsized to a 3/8/16 set screw, and even that's going to protrude a little bit, which I think will be fine. It shouldn't be doing a whole lot of work. It's just ensuring that the keyway stays tight. I may even put a dimple in the keyway after I cut it, and I'll set it and I'll put a mark on the keyway, maybe mark them left and right. But yeah, aside from that, we're pretty much in the clear. Turns out I need to do a little more research on running that Davis, and I need to sharpen that broach because that thing was not nearly sharp enough for I mean, it was aluminum. It should have been tearing through it. We got through it, but you know, could have been better. But the job's done, just about done. I guess that's what really matters. We have good results. Just yeah, it could be a little more efficient on that. I guess if anybody knows of any good resources for Davis #2 keyseater, or I couldn't find anything on YouTube. I only spent a couple minutes looking, but I couldn't find anything. So I guess if I figure out, maybe I can make a video on YouTube to show you guys how to run these things the correct way. But that was kind of tedious. I had to keep checking my perpendicularity, and maybe with a sharp broach it wouldn't have been so bad, but yeah, I would journey to say there's got to be a better way. Alright, I'm gonna get you over on the Acro mill. So I think I'm actually just gonna you know, drill and tap for the keyway, and then counter drill a recess in the keyway, and probably cut the keyway in half, mark it, so you know, both can be utilized. I'll probably do that off camera because I'm running short on time. Yeah, if you enjoyed the video, check out some of my other videos. There's some better, some worse. It was exciting to me to use the Davis, or fight with the Davis. So I'll figure that thing out. If anybody has any good resources for like an operator manual, or you know, the exact right technique for doing that, go ahead, drop me a comment, or a suggestion in the comments. Otherwise, I'm going to be digging through every book I have, and the interwebs and everything, just to see if I can get a better handle on that. Ultimately, we got it done. We got it done, I would say, correctly, neatly, and we ended up with some nice looking parts. That being said, these weren't real, you know, critical parts. It's basically a really fancy, glorified lock collar. So yeah, I think we're gonna call it quits now, end the video now. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe though. That really helps the channel, helps the algorithm. I normally try and get back to you. Normally if you subscribe and you have a channel, I'll subscribe back to you, because you guys all seem to have interesting stuff to watch and learn about. And hopefully I do too. But yeah, definitely do that. Thanks for stopping by, and I guess I'll see you on the next one. All right.